I am not getting into the argument of rebirth, etc. You can read Swamiji's Jnana Yoga for a plausible or very logical explanation of that. I don't get into that. But what I am telling is, even if, let us assume that our lives are restricted only to this particular life, even if that were true, as human beings who are now sending, even India has sent a probe to Mars, human beings who are talking about mind files which are just like stem cell, the other personality equivalent of stem cell, where you can create a clone of yourself, humanoid. Human beings who are trying to understand truths going beyond themselves, body-mind complex, writing Bible or Upanishads, etc. Is it not just fair to place the level of the personality of these human beings somewhere above this physical level? Definitely it is. We are talking about the universe, things which we have not seen. We are extrapolating our knowledge to these things which we have not empirically perceived. So is it not just fair to put the personality of human beings somewhere up above these, limiting adjuncts of body, mind, vital breath, whatever? Yes, we should not think that the human being is only restricted to this particular 6 feet or whatever body. That is why we should, even though if you don't believe in rebirth, we should think to understand the higher reality, call it of the universe or of yourself. Because according to me, the higher reality of the universe is your own higher reality. You do it through science or do it through spirituality, but do it. And if you want to do it, then even in science, you see there is a slight difference of fructifera and lucifera, applied and pure science. This can go on and on. So people who want to get the benefits of science here and now, and people who will devote their lives for lifetime research to find out the underlying principles of certain things which are happening in the nature. So even there is a dichotomy. So you don't want to, or you should not become people who are not bothered about what happens or what is their personality more than a consumeristic perspective, a enjoyment complex, a complex or a machinery which just enjoys, eats food and all other things which come with that. But you have to think of yourself something higher, and that you can do only when you have that conviction in your mind. And to have that conviction in your mind, you have to mix with people. That is why it is told Mahapurusha Samshraya or Sat Sangha. See, interesting if you know the Sanskrit. Sat means what? Existence. Here it means Sat Purusha, means Sajjana, Sat Jana. So that person who is Sat means the same word is used for existence and also for goodness. Means what? Anything just exists by itself. Brahman is good, if you can say so. So Sat Sangha, you have to have the company of good people, people who do not believe that you are just body, mind. People who do not believe that the whole ambition of life or the essence of life is just partying and sharting. Party sharti. I don't know what sharti means, but party, I know. So this is what. So you should not have that kind of a company, but you should have a company which thinks that you are much higher than this material construct. First you have to think that. Then only you will be able to attain that. Then the Upanishad says, Yada sarve pramuchyante कामायेस्य हृदि श्रुता अथ मर्त्यो मृतो भवत्यत्र ब्रह्म समश्नुते. Okay, we are all people of science, so we don't want to confuse ourselves with the next birth or the previous birth, etc. we want to, whatever you say, whatever this Jivan Mukta or Brahma Jnana, etc. is there, that we want to experience here itself. I don't know about any heaven and hell. I want to experience whatever is there here itself. So hell you see, if you carefully see, not so carefully also, if you look around yourself, you will see everywhere it is hell. Heaven very difficult to attain, but hell everywhere. Probably if you go to a 5-star hotel or 7-star hotel, something closer to heaven you may get. So heaven and hell are also there here itself. So how is it that you will be able to become immortal being in this very body? How is it that you will be able to become Amara, immortal, without death, even in this body? Very simple. Very, very simple. How is it that you should not have any desires? That's all. No desires or no selfishness. If you have no desires, then you will be like what? Same analogy given for the Saint Francis of Assisi. All of you know about him. Saint Francis of Assisi. How many of you don't know about Saint Francis of Assisi? Okay. Seriously, do some Google. Saint Francis of Assisi. Assisi is the place where he was born, and Saint Francis, he was a person who was a saint, of course, of Catholic Christianity, and also he was a person who was in love with the nature, and he brought lot of reformation in the church. So Saint Francis of Assisi is compared to a dry leaf. What is a dry leaf? A dry leaf floats in the air. A dry leaf floats in the air. Dry leaf is not attached to tree, so there is no bonding, dry leaf. And it is not heavy also, it is kind of light. So it floats in the air. Wherever the wind takes it, it goes. Wherever the will of God takes it, it goes. So Saint Francis of Assisi had no will of himself. His own will he did not have. So Manisha Panchakam, again what does it say? Prarabdhaya samarpitam svavapuhu. One surrenders one body to the effect of actions, that is prarabdha. So whatever our prarabdha, whatever we have to face, to that the body is surrendered. I have no more desires. Same thing is there in Ashtavakra Samhita also. Ashtavakra Samhita says that a realized person is like a dry leaf. A dry leaf. And I believe Sri Ramakrishna also says that. A dry leaf. So wind takes the dry leaf wherever it takes it. The leaf by itself has no will. So if you don't have any desires, all your problems will come to an end. Every problem will come to an end. And in this very life, you will become immortal. Because you will not have to take birth again. You will get the stage of Jivan Mukta. How to do it? Is it so easy? Don't do it, or it is impossible to do it at once. Do it one action at a time. And it is very possible. And it is a very effective spiritual practice. One action at a time, or one desire at a time. How? You have to do it very minutely. Suppose you are going to take food in your own house, and you are sitting, and then somebody is serving something, because you are going to take food, definitely people will serve. And you want something and you don't ask. And give it a time of 3 days. So when you don't ask and you just try to ignore it for 3 days, after 3 days mind will forget it. It will go on to some other thing. But what we do, we keep it for 3 years, and on Monday, the particular day, 10 o'clock, I wanted 1 chips with the tea, you did not give. Suddenly, this time of divorce is the time when all the things, or any fighting, they suddenly start, both husband and wife, they start remembering all the details, minute details of when what person did what. Better than that will be to tell it then and there. But if you can't do, so you just keep it. One by one. This is the technique. One by one. You want something, and you see that without that what is an addiction? An addiction is a habit which you want. Without that, you cannot stay. That is addiction. So somebody reads, that is no problem. But somebody cannot stay without reading, that is a problem. Somebody smokes, I will not say that's not a problem, but anyway. But somebody cannot stay without smoking, that is somebody drinks, without drinking that person cannot stay, he becomes an alcoholic. So that is what. So here again, you have to go away from all addictions. How do you do that? You first see, yes, I am taking this and I want it the more intense your desire, the more strong, the stronger should be your effort to not do that. Suppose you think, I want to have this now itself, then don't do that. One by one desire at a time, control. And you will see, you have to, one day it will not happen, 1 year it will not happen. If you do it continuously for say 6-7 years, suddenly one time will come and then you will understand that you have lot of control. I will not say complete control, lot of control over your daily desires. So it starts like that. And you have to, so people can have small phone, same facilities, some other phone, but everybody wants to have iPhone 5s. Why? Because it's the latest model. Doesn't make sense. For Apple it may make sense, but for you it will not make sense, because actually the value addition is not, and even if there are 2 more features, how does it really help you? So this is the desire. We are all driven by desires. I want to have something because I want to have it. That is the only explanation. Why do you want to have this car? Because I need it, that's all. And the entire industry, the whole society is based on your need. If you say, I don't want, this is sufficient, then you will also ask, how will we progress? The whole idea of progress is also a very skewed idea. What is progress? Again, cosmologists will come, how many years? So many years of, at least million years, no? Money which is unattended, you want to grab that money. A chair unattended, you want to grab that grant or proposal, or very common. So always fight, free for all. Jiski lati, uski band. Uski bands. So it's kushti match. And then the basal instincts, you see what's happening in the world. Different from a pig and a dog. No, absolutely no difference. So where is our civilization? But when we want to purchase Apple iPhone 5s, say that it's civilization, and we need to affirm that we are civilized by having this phone. Not having higher. That is why this adage is there, no? Simple living, high thinking. So why simple living? Because you are cluttering your mind with all these physical objects, which are again and again strengthening the idea of body mind. It's again and again taking you away from peace. In fact, your mind is going into pieces. So that, why are you doing? And you are actually spending money, hard-earned money to do this. Spending money, you are going to great length to get peacelessness. This, what was that Jesuit person? Anthony de Mello. If you have seen his videos, Anthony de Mello, you can really inspiring. So in one university lecture, he said, all of you get angry. Why? So the students were, so he said, because we want to become angry. So then he said that he thinking that I am a fool or a mad person. But no, true. You want to become angry, and that is why you become angry. You want to be happy and you be happy. These are the obverse and reverse of the same coin, two sides of the same coin. So we become angry. Why? Because we want. Why? Because it is want which is making you angry. You desire something, and if you don't get, kamat krodho bhi jayate, you immediately become angry. So this is, so you have this if you want to get immortal here, if you want to attain Brahman, even while living, very simple, just give up desires. Just give up. And how do you give up? Not suddenly giving up. That means giving up may come, but that is like sannyasa, that is a mode of life. But for everyone, what you can do, one desire at a time, you can. So, desire is something and need is something. And even if you don't desire, things will come to you. Because why will things come to you? What is the logic behind it? Because you have already done some actions. And the fruits of those actions will work. So even if you don't desire, because of the fruits of those actions, you will have to do your things. And you will have to eat, etc., etc. This is because you would also cooked and fed other people. So you will have to also suffer the consequence. Next mantra is Yada sarve prabidhyante hridayasyeha granthayaha atha martyo mrito bhavati etavadya anushasanam. So again, now when will these desires will go away? When is it possible that these desires will go away? All the desires. Now you see, we are actually truly consciousness. But we think ourselves to be the body, mind, etc., which are nothing but matter. So this we call a confusion between the snake and the rope, or a superimposition, or a knot. It's all a naughty affair. K-N-O-T-T-Y, naughty affair. What is it? Granthi. Granthi. So Chit is consciousness, Jada is matter, Chit, Jada, Granthi. So we have confused ourselves to be matter, whereas in reality we are consciousness, and only when this Chit, Jada, Granthi is removed, that even when we are alive, even when we are living, when you are always aware. Remember that earlier mantra of Katha Upanishad, Vipaschit. Always conscious that you are not this body, you are not the mind. You are not this body, you are not the mind. Always conscious that you are consciousness. Only when you do that, then even when you are alive, you will become immortal. Etavadhi anushasanam. And that is what is being told, that this is what is anushasanam. Etavadhi. This indeed, this is, definitely this is the instruction of the Upanishad. That you have to constantly think this, and by that what will happen? Your Chit Jada Granthi, the knot between the consciousness and matter will be removed. Will be removed. That you have to do. So, till that knot is removed, it is very difficult. You see, most of the times we have seen, whenever we tie rope, or particularly it happens to this rope which we have in a dress, no? Suddenly you find that it has got knot. And you have to do so much of circus to remove that knot. Similar circus you have to do here also. Otherwise the whole thing will be a circus. If you have to become free, always vipaschit. Be very conscious and alert about your consciousness, the nature, which is consciousness. Then the Upanishad says, Shatam chaika cha hridayasya nadyah tasam abhinisritaika tayo urdhvam vishwang उत्क्रमणे भवन्ति विश्वंगन्या उत्क्रमणे भवन्ति. So here an analogy or a different explanation is given. Shatam cha eka, 101. Hridayasya nadyah. So it is told that the nerves in the heart are 101. I didn't check it out with anatomy. We have to check it. How Upanishad is in that. But anyway, it is told here that the nerves of the heart are 101 and nerve passes. Going up through that nerve, tasam murdhanam abhisnisrita. Nisrita means going out. Nisritaika. So from that, through that nerve, one gets immortal. You see, there are different types of mukti. When a person dies, it is believed, and some historical accounts are also there, that here there will be some blood. This portion actually in the skull is a soft portion for every one of us. If you keep your finger, you will see that here exactly, you can check. It is a soft portion of your skull. There is a small portion here, exactly here, which is very soft. So, it is believed, and there are many legends or historical accounts which say that some saint passed and here some blood was there. So that Navadware Pure Dehi, so there are 9 exit points. So instead of some people, most of people, their prana or vital breath will go away through the organs of excretion, etc. So why? Because that is the level they are there in. So some people it will go through mouth. So some people you will see that they have passed, so mouth is open, etc. Some people it will go through eyes, etc. But a person for whom the prana goes away through this is a person who has become immortal or who has realized Brahman. That is why again this says that the others, they have other directions. Vishwak anyah bhavanti. So, if the person goes other directions, means through mouth or eyes or whatever, then the person takes different forms. So, the person will have to again take birth. So, that is why here it is told that a person whose prana goes up this point of the head, not come back, will become immortal. Now we go to the next mantra. Angushtam Purushantaratma Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha Tam Swachairat Pravrhen Munjadi Veshikam Dhairyena Tam Vidya Shukram Amritam Tam Vidya Shukram Amritamiti. So as we have seen earlier also, this Purusha or Brahman is sometimes told to be all pervasive and sometimes told to be of the size of a thumb or size of a molecule, etc. Why? Just to give the idea that the size is unimportant or irrelevant as far as Brahman is concerned. See? That is why we saw that it is greater than the greater and subtler than the subtlest. In the previous one mantra we saw that it is greater than the greater. Mahato Mahiyan, Anor Aniyan. This Atma, which is there in the Janto, that was there in the mantra, that in the living beings, this Atma is greater than bigger than the biggest and subtler or smaller than the smallest. So here the size is not important or material or it does not matter. So that is why, to give an idea that this Brahman is in the core of all living beings, Angushta Matra Purushontara Atma. It is the size of a thumb, Angushta. And it is there inside all living beings. Sada Jananam Hridaya Sannivishta. In the heart of all living beings, it is always there. So, what should a person do? One person should, now you see, this is our body and mind, everything. And in that, Atman is there. So, Chit Jada Granthi. This knot is there. What do you do when there is a knot? What do you do when there is a knot? How do you open it? Separating. How do you do it? Becoming very impatient, hastily you do it? You have to be very patient. Because if you become hasty, then the knot becomes tighter. It becomes stronger and stronger and it becomes a knotty problem. So, you do it very carefully. Another analogy will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. So, woman. So, another analogy will be, in many languages it is used, sari falling on thorns. No? So, if sari falls on thorns, you have to take it very carefully. Or any cloth it can be, for the benefit of, so sari I made it. But otherwise any cloth falling on thorns, you have to take it carefully. Otherwise what will happen? You will tear the cloth. So here also, dhairyena is the word, with patience. How? Like munjadi veshikam. Like separating the veshika or ishika actually. Munjadi iva ishika. Ishika means the shoot. Every plant gives a tender shoot. So here the shoot is the core of the thing. Actually, sometimes it is consumed also. In a plant called munja grass. Munja. There are so many things about this. We will come to that later, about that grass. So if you have to remove that shoot from that grass, the stalk of the grass, if you have to remove it, you have to do it very patiently. Otherwise what will happen? The grass will get torn and also the shoot will be destroyed. So you have to, when you have to remove it very patiently. So while you peel, you can peel anything like potato. So peeling is a great art. People don't realize it. Nowadays most of it done mechanically. If you peel, if you have to properly peel everything, at the same time not lose the potato. So some people will peel and there will be chunks of potato attached to the peel. Okay? So you have to peel in such a way that the peel will be very fine and the potato will be super fine. So there was this Swami who was peeling the potatoes in Belur Math. So in Belur Math, at that time I don't think he was Swami. So somebody joins, we get all kinds of, Swami Vivekananda said, Chandi part teke juto silai. Juto silai teke chandi part. So you have to do the work of shoesmith and also you have to do Chandi part. Chandi is Durga Saptashati, Devi Mahatmyam, etc. So this person was peeling it. And the peeling was so wonderful, so perfect that Swami Premanandaji saw this and told that he will become a Brahmanyani. Who was this person? Swami Gambhiranandaji. Swami Gambhiranandaji. So that peeling is very important. So like that if you have to do anything very nicely, if you have to do anything very perfectly, then you have to do it with tremendous amount of patience. So in life, particularly in spiritual life, what do we need? We need only 3 qualities. That is patience and patience and patience. That's all. Nothing else you need. Shaw. So making a pun on the word letter, 3 letters in Bengali, all pronounced practically in the same way. It was told, what was it told? Forbear. That is what. Always patience. So here also, You have to remove this consciousness, separate this consciousness from your body-mind complex. And then you will know tam vidyat shukram amritam. Shukram means pure and amritam means immortal. Then you will know that by this knowledge you will come to know, by this process you will come to know that Brahman or your own personality is pure and immortal. Then again it is repeated, you see. Tam vidyat shukram amritam iti. Now this is a kind of a colophon. Colophon, what is colophon? If you have read the Bhagavad Gita, you will see Bhagavad Gitayam, like that. After every chapter there is one colophon. You will say this Shastre, this Adhyaye, etc., etc. So that is called a kind of an ending given to every chapter. It can be also a ornament design, because if you see some books, then you will find that some design is put after every chapter. So this is used in that purpose. When something is repeated twice, it means that that has come to an end. So here Katha Upanishad has actually come to an end. Yama's talking or words to Nachiketa has ended here. And that is why the Upanishad says it twice. Tam vidyat shukram amritam, tam vidyat shukram amritam iti. In some traditions, when you chant a text, say Bhagavad Gita, when it has come to an end, that last shloka will be chanted twice. So what is the last shloka of Bhagavad Gita? That will be chanted twice. So like that. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti. So here it is told that a person who understands this with patience. So see, Katha Upanishad ends with the message of patience. Patience, and also the message that this knot is there of consciousness and matter. So you have to remove, separate them. Now the Upanishad, that is not Yama nor Nachiketa, Upanishad says, we will come to this munja grass. What is this munja grass? This grass is munja grass. This grass. It is called, this is the scientific name, Saccharum munja. This is found in the western India, western parts of India, Rajasthan and all those places it is found. It is used to create baskets and different kinds of handicraft material. It is also used to thatch huts. Dried grass is used to thatch huts. Different kinds of plate and all. And then you have this winnowing, this thing. Bangla ki bola winnow. That is also made using this. Different kinds of things are made using this. And there is these people who are, these tribal communities, they are best at making things out of this. And also this grass has a wonderful property. Places which are rocky, grass holds the soil and it prevents soil erosion. So in conservation, people actually plant this grass so that soil erosion is prevented. And it has got many medicinal properties. That Ishika which we were talking about, that has got medicinal properties. And there are many studies also on this about the medicinal pharmacological uses of munja grass. Coming to Veda, munja grass, I have earlier also told here, Maunji Bandhana. You see, this Yajñopavita was earlier this munja grass is used to make ropes. No, that is Dhruva. So munja grass was, that is Dhruva. So munja grass was used to make ropes also. So earlier, in the early Vedic times, both grass. Krishna. So Even in Bengal, it is used in handicrafts. কুশ নয়, আমি দেখেছি কয়েকটা দুর্গা পূজাতে ওটা দিয়ে প্যান্ডেল বানিয়েছিল গত বছর। ওটা কি বলতে পারছি এখন, ওটা দিয়ে গুলো সব থাকে, কিছুটা বাঁশের মতো কিন্তু বাঁশ নয়। So anyway, so it's called Sikki in Bihar. A little different species. So a saccharum became something else. Basically, this is saccharum is the thing used for sugar cane. You see, saccharum also in the same this thing group. And in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the Sikki, it's called Sarkanda. Sikki Sarkanda, that is a different species. Here was so Maunji Bandhana. You see, this Maunji Bandhana is Upanayana. That is modern version of Upanayana. So people used to tie that as a belt. In many times you will see that a thread tying over the waist remains even now. And in case of women, as an ornament they tie. But that was used for symbolically to show that it is a brahmacharya period of men and women both. Maunji Bandhana. Because this rope, when you tie it, it kind of cuts into your body. It is not it's kind of sharp. So that is used as a symbol of chastity. Maunji Bandhana. That was used. And it is also used in many ways. The rope made using this muncha was used in Vedic sacrifices. So this is what? About munja grass. Now the Upanishad says, Mrityu proktam nachiketo, Mrityu proktam nachiketo vidyametam brahma prapto विरजो अभूत विमृत्युः अन्योप्येवं यो विदात्मैव। So Nachiketa, Mrityu Proktam, Nachiketa Atho Labdha. Mrityu Proktam, what has been told by Mrityu, that is death, Atha, thus. Atha can be used in various manner. Atha means whatever has happened, Athato Brahma Jnasa. So after having all the qualifications, Sadhana Chatushta, you will go into the enquiry of Brahma. So like that. Atha, till now this discourse of Yama, Lord of Death, Nachiketa has been done. So like that, thus Nachiketa Mrityu Proktam, Nachiketa was taught by death or Lord of Death, Yama. Etan Vidyam Krishnam Yoga Vidim cha. Etam Vidyam Krishnam Yoga Vidim cha means this etam vidyam, this knowledge, vidyam, this knowledge, krishnam yoga vidimcha, and also yoga vidhi, the process or the methodology of yoga. Krishnam, completely. Krishnam means completely. One who knows this, by acquiring this knowledge, Nachiketa, what do you get? Labdhva, having acquired this knowledge of yoga and also Brahman. Because towards the end, it is told that you have to follow this, you have to control mind. So that is yoga part. And Brahman. So theoretical, practical, both knowledge. Theory, practice, classroom, laboratory, both are covered. So, Labdhva, having attained Brahma Praptaha, Nachiketa became one with Brahman, Brahma Praptaha. Virajaha Vimrityuhu Abhut. And he became Virajaha. So virajaha can mean many things. One thing is that you are dispassionate. You have vairagya. It also means you become pure. Raja means activity, kind of impurity. And virajaha means without that you become pure. So Nachiketa became pure and he became vimrityuhu, without death, that is immortal. But the Upanishad says, anyaha apiyaha. So it is not this Upanishad has been preserved and through the tradition of Shruti Parampara it has been told. It is not a story about Ekta Raja, Ekti Rani. It is not a story between Yama and death, but it is a lesson which can be followed by anyone. So essentially, it is a manual which you can also follow. It is a verifiable, demonstrable, repeatable truth. It is not something which happened in the past, forget about it. Fill it, forget it. No. It is something which is very much true. Anyaha api yaha adhyatmam evam vid. So any other person who does this, that is understood, any other person who does this, follows this methodology of Brahman, knowledge of Brahman and the process of yoga, will attain the same thing which Nachiketa attained. Like Sri Ramakrishna says, I have seen God. And he says, how many do cry for God? People cry, they shed torrents of tears. Niagara waterfalls. Some people have it all like a button, no? You just, even before you tell it is falling. All the waterfall problem. We should not do rainwater harvesting. We should do tear water harvesting. Better. Just desalination and thing is ready for consumption. So this people shed torrents of tears for material thing. How many people do they shed tears for God? That is why God, what does God do? What does he do or she does? What does she do? God, she blesses us with suffering. Holy Mother says, Bhagavanir dayar dhan dukkho. Suffering is the donation or a gift of compassion from God. Why? Because you say, oh God, kripaya pare pahi murare, you free me from this ocean of repeated birth and death. You said, how will you free yourself? Unless you cry for God. And how do you cry for God? You will not cry if you have a good family and all that. So everything will be there, good this thing, and finally one Facebook account will be there and one relationship will there, and then you have all reason for crying. Whole life you cry. So that is why Kunti said that give me suffering. Give me suffering so that I will. All religions start with this point, common point, suffering. How Buddha also started, Sankhya Karika started. See all the Shanti, everything to get. So unless there is suffering, Swami Vivekananda says, people who are steeped in luxury, if it starts working properly, there is something wrong in the programming. This is the standard rule. So debugging should be done. Then the product will improve. You can better the product. Similarly, we can better our idea of our personality only when we get blows. Only when we get a shattering to our world view. We think this is the world. And when that is shattered, we will wake up and think, oh, then this is not the world. Then what is the world? Swamiji says, sledgehammer blows. So whenever somebody blows, welcome it. Forbearance is the practical aspect of spiritual life. Nowadays, how will you do austerity? You will not go to jungle. Where is the jungle? There is no jungle. Kyunki sab jungle mein mangal. So where will you go? There is no jungle. Where will you go to? You go to Sikkim and there are also two people sitting. Maharaj, apni eseche namra okhane amra Advaita ashram jai Maharaj. I have not gone, but I am telling you. Go to any far-flung place. There also some people will be there. That how are you? And if you go to Antarctica, already there is a chai wala. Say chai. There's all kinds of things are happening. So how how can you go to a place which is completely, and you have this mind with you? Even if you go to a place, it's a mind. So mind has already this blueprint of all these experiences, so it will create things, no? There is an incident of a Swami who was in deep trouble. Why? He was reading Purana. What happened? Suddenly one Apsara came and called that Swami that you come. So this Swami ran to another Swami and said that, see, the Swami, a very simple Swami. So ran to another Swami and said, see, this Apsara has come. So he said, I told you not to read this Purana and all. So the Swami's mind was so pure that Apsara. It will not happen exactly like that, but your mind is so, or most of our minds is so impure that already so many Apsaras and other people are there inside that. So even if you don't have outside company, you have a lot of bad company inside. So how will you? Only when you get suffering. So forbearance. When somebody scolds you, just titiksha. Just forbear that. That is the only practical way to do spiritual austerity. You cannot do any other type of austerity because you all have work. Everyone has got work. You cannot go on fasting. You cannot do work. So the only practical way of doing spiritual practice is to do meditation, do japa, think of these things, read them again and again, and whenever you are put in a situation of conflict or confrontation, forbear. So people think that is a sign of weakness. It is not. It is a sign of strength. Weakness is actually getting agitated. That is weakness. Sign of strength always, even physically, sign of strength is absorption. Anything which is strong, a substance which is strong will always absorb. If it is not able to, if it gets shattered, it is not strong. So we also should become shock absorbers. That is the idea. So today we close Katha Upanishad. Next we will start Tattva Bodha, that is an introduction to Vedanta, small book written by Shankaracharya. So that gives lot of concepts of karma, prarabdha karma and other things. And because we have been discussing about this, many people may not know these things. So that is a small text, so it will not take much time, but that we will read. Provided this universe remains like this and all other. You see, in economics you have a language, ceteris paribus, means provided other things are constant, it's a Latin phrase, this will happen. So provided all other things are constant, we will venture into this. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Any questions? Tattva Bodha, there is a translation by Swami Sunirmalananda, published by Ramakrishna Math, Chennai. Even otherwise, it is downloadable from the net, the Sanskrit, and there are many other translations by other people. But Sanskrit itself is very simple. Any other questions about Katha Upanishad or anything else?